Despite how long Smash as a series has been going on for, and in turn how long the developers have had the art to perfect making good platform fighter characters, it still really pains me to see deliberately bad characters implemented into the modern titles. Now I say deliberately bad because I am fairly confident at this point the Smash team knows the difference between what makes a character good and what makes a character bad, and if for some reason they don't know that by now, then God help us for the next game. When it comes to Smash Ultimate, however, it's a bit of an interesting case because whilst there are still some definitely bad characters in this game, most of them have some pretty premium moves attached to them to help them out. So in this video, I've cherry-picked some of the best moves in Ultimate attached to some of the worst characters, and I guess I'm gonna present them to you. Now, are all of these the literal best moves in Ultimate? Not really, this is more or less just a list of some incredibly good moves that I thought would make for an interesting video. But if there are any moves you think I've missed, hey, leave a comment down below telling me what they are. Okay, let's begin. Out of all of the characters in Smash that haven't been top tiers yet, I think Robin is in the upper echelons of potential for the next game. He's been mediocre but incredibly fun in both games he's been in, and that's largely down to his resource mechanic. Because most of his moves are tied to a resource mechanic, they were allowed to make them unbelievably strong, a design we would later see repeated in Ultimate that did not turn out very well. So as you could imagine, just choosing one move to talk about for this video was extremely difficult, but I eventually narrowed down my choices to either Levin Sword down smash or Thunder. Levin Sword down smash might be one of the best down smashes in the entire game. An unreasonably strong move that kills ridiculously early, breaks shields, hits above, below and behind Robin, has a long lingering sour spot, 2 frames, and oh yeah, a hitbox that looks like this. But despite everything this move does, I think I've ultimately got to choose Thunder for the position on this list. Down smash does a lot, sure, but Thunder is one of the most versatile, chargeable, storable projectiles in the entire game, which if you know anything about Ultimate are just premium qualities on top of premium qualities. The Thunder Tome can be charged to one of 4 variants. There's the basic Thunder spell, a weak short-ranged attack that leads into combos at early percents, L Thunder, a long-range high damage dealing projectile that kills at later percents, Arc Thunder, a mix-up projectile that does a bit of everything, and Thoron, a move that you basically never use but is always nice to have. The fact that you don't have to choose between one of these amazing projectiles and instead can have all 4 is credit to the sheer versatility Thunder as a move brings to the table. The only downside to all of this, of course, is that the move is attached to a resource mechanic that is attached to Robin. But even with the resource mechanic and limitations in mind, I can still think of many top tiers that would trade out their own neutral specials for Thunder. Picture Roy, for example, except he now has some sorely needed long-range pressure, or Mithra, who now has a lightning-quick projectile which she can combo grabs and dash attacks off. An easy-to-use, hard-to-learn, and insanely difficult move to master such as Thunder brings a lot of versatility to any kit you slap it onto. So chin up, Robin, I'm sure you'll be good in the next game. So you saw Incineroar in the thumbnail and probably thought I was going to be talking about Alolan Whip. Wrong. I'm not choosing Alolan Whip, one of the best side specials in the entire game, for this video because everyone knows it's just that, one of the best side specials in the entire game. Instead, I'm going to shed some light on a move that most people know is pretty good but still doesn't get the respect it deserves, and that's down tilt. By down tilt standards, this move is unreasonably free. A frame 9, fully intangible move that has 3 hitboxes with no sour spots that directly pop the opponent up. This move is the combo starting down tilt as it leads into imagination at pretty much any percent. Consistency like this is extremely rare amongst comboing down tilts, but Incineroar brings this to the table in spades. Towards the beginning of Ultimate's life, people generally knew and feared how good this move was, however since then it seems to have largely been overshadowed by Alolan Whip, and Alolan Whip seems to have largely been overshadowed by the fact that no one plays Incineroar. Well, I say no one, but recently some players have taken him to major tournaments and he's actually seen some pretty good success. Trust me on this one, high level Incineroar play is the most entertaining play to watch in Ultimate. No 2 Incineroars play the same as each other, but one thing you're guaranteed to see all good Incineroar players doing is fishing for down tilt constantly. Incineroar's kit is littered with some of the most premium moves I've ever seen amongst the Smash Fighters kit, all balanced out by his deliberately terrible physics. But despite that, said moves are so good that he still seems to push through in tournaments here and there, so he's definitely the most viable character to be covered on this list, but whether he's necessarily good or not is still up for debate. Piranha Plant's inclusion into this game was weird, but it turned out to be a relatively welcome but ultimately forgotten one. Now, continuing the trend from Incineroar, I'm not going to be covering Patui, which is Piranha Plant's absolute best move in this section. This video is meant to highlight some of the lesser known fantastic moves on overall bad or less viable characters, and everyone knows how good a move Patui is. So instead for this section, we're going to be covering his up smash. because people really don't know how good this move is. Like, damn, people don't know how good this move is. This move is very obviously inspired by how the piranha plants function in the original Mario series, coming out of the pipes and snapping upwards. And in terms of translating this into Smash, we got a monstrously strong up smash that kills most of the roster ridiculously early. Ridiculously early. It has a huge hitbox, amazing damage and knockback, and oh yeah, is entirely intangible throughout the entirety of the move. Piranha Plant's head is intangible whilst he snaps, so we're basically dealing with a disjointed magic attack size hitbox here. This wasn't the move I was expecting to be covering on here. I actually had a few other moves written up for this section, but after doing some proper research and experimenting into this, I cannot believe people don't talk about this up smash more. Oh yeah, now I remember why. We'll finish this video off with a few honourable mentions, featuring a few amazing moves on terrible characters that just didn't quite make the cut. Zelda's Phantom Slash was really close to featuring on this list, but was ultimately cut purely because I couldn't fit her in the thumbnail. Taking a Nun move with left B from Smash 4 and turning it into an everything projectile was such a genius move that it's the whole reason I even pick up Zelda to begin with. Too bad itself wasn't good enough to make her a top tier, or even a mid tier, or even viable in any way. Continuing down the spirit tracks, Ganondorf's neutral air is one of the only things keeping him from being completely unviable in all scenarios. It has decent speed, is good both rising and falling, and starts and ends combos. It really does a lot, but at the same time it's also attached to Ganondorf. And finally, Mii Sword Fighter previously got an entire video dedicated to him on my channel, so I'm not going to recap all of that here, but if I had to pick just one move to feature, it would be Shuriken of Light. A fast projectile that acts excellently at range yet falls short up close is a design I'd like to see explored a lot more in the Smash series. It works so well for Mii Sword Fighter that I think it's a wasted opportunity not to explore something like this elsewhere, but until that happens, I guess it will have to stay a Mii Sword Zoner exclusive. And that'll do it for this video. Thank you very much everyone for watching. Let me know what you thought about what I had to say down below, and let me know if there are any other moves you'd feature in this list. And I'd like to give a further thank you to my Patreons and YouTube members, with an especially large thank you going to I Am Skylar, Sukos, and Hatsune Miku. And that'll do it for me. I'm gonna go boil the kettle. Goodbye for now. This is me, Sword Fighter. Mii Sword Fighter is definitely one of those characters I would class as being underrated, and I know very well we are talking about the Smash community here.